Welcome friends to the Cloud World channel. My name is Ajay and today we are going to talk about Azure User Defined Routes. Azure User Defined Routes allows you to create network routes to deploy NVA, which is Network Virtual Appliance, and you can use this to deploy a custom firewall in terms of if you want to deploy a Cisco firewall or a checkpoint firewall in an Azure network, you can deploy it using the Azure Marketplace. And when there are different routes available or present in the UDR route table, user defined routes always take the precedence over the other routes. Okay, in this way, UDR will always overrides the Azure's default system routes. In today's lab, we'll try to cover about creating a VNet, deploying multiple subnets. Will deploy virtual machines in those subnets. We will enable user-defined routes and see how it can help in terms of how the traffics are routed within the Azure network. So with this, let's get started and let's log into the Azure portal. Okay, friends. So we have logged on to the Azure subscription using the portal.azure.com. We go to create a resource and we provision a virtual network. Click on the networking tab, virtual network. We provision this as demo vnet1 with an address space of 10.0.0.0/16. With a free trial, I'll create a resource group as well with RG1. UK West, I name this as public subnet with an address range of 10.0.0.0/24 and I click on create. Okay, so we have so let it get provision. Okay, I'll go ahead and pause the video while it's provisioning it. Okay, VNet is provision. Okay, all we need to create is additional two subnets. We go to the subnets tab. We have a public subnet. We need to create one as private and the other one as DMZ subnet. I name this as DMZ 2.0. That's fine. Click OK. Okay, we have got a virtual network with three subnets. Now we'll go ahead and provision three virtual machines, each in these subnets. Starting with, we'll provision the first one in DMZ network. Okay, create a resource, compute. I click on Windows Server. Okay, make sure you select the correct resource group. I name this as demo VM as NVA. This will act as a network virtual appliance. Provision it in the UK West region. Okay. Okay, click on next. Leave the settings default. Move on to next. While I provision the virtual machine, make sure you select the VNet. We need to provision this in DMZ. Okay, keep in mind for this VM which we are provisioning it as an NVA appliance, we do not want to have any public IP addresses. So select none from the drop down list and click next. The rest of the settings are quite default, so no changes. Go ahead and provision it. Provision a virtual machine. And similarly, we need to provision two additional virtual machines, but for those two virtual machines we can have the public IP addresses, which is fine. So all we need to do is provision additional two VMs. So I'll pause the video, have the additional two virtual machines created, then we'll resume back. Okay, make sure while you are provisioning those two VMs, you select the right subnets. A VM for private, a VM for the public subnet. Okay. Okay, so we have our three virtual machines deployed, one in DMZ network, the other one in private, and the other one in public subnet. The NVA VM does not have the public IP address assigned. Okay, let's now go ahead and create a route table. Okay, I click on create resource, networking, and I select route table. I name it as demo route table 1, demo route table. Make sure you select the resource group and the correct location. I say create. This should not take much of a time. Once we have the route table created, all we need to do is add a route to the route table. Okay, route table is created. Go to the resource and I go to routes. There's no route at present. I click on the add and name this as to private subnet. So with the address as 10.0.1.0/24 network. This is our private subnet. And from this subnet, what is the next hop? It says next hop as virtual appliance. There are multiple options. You're going to select as virtual appliance. And what is the address for the next hop? The next hop address for the virtual appliance is 10.0.2.4. Okay, and click OK to create to add the route. We have got the route table created, a route added. Okay, let's go to the subnet and add the route table to that particular subnet. Go to VNet, go to subnets. Okay, in the subnets tab, there are three subnets. We click on public subnet. Okay, and here under the route table, we click and select the route table. Click on save. Okay, now we go to the NVA virtual machine. All we need to do is enable IP forwarding. Now this IP forwarding basically will, so any traffic coming in, it will forward that to. So we need to tell the VM. So that can be done from the portal itself. Go to the virtual machines networking tab. On the network interface, okay, click here, go to IP configuration under settings, and you need to enable IP forwarding. Click save. So this way we are telling the virtual machines that any traffic that we are configuring the IP forwarding on the VM level. The next step is to configure it at the operating system as well inside the OS. Let's take an RDP. Since we do not have the public IP assigned on the NVA, we'll log into the public virtual machine. Okay, let me check the IP address. Okay, I have already allowed the RDP port for taking an RDP session. So here is the public IP. We take an MSTSC session. If you look at, we have already allowed the port 3389. Connect. use different demo user and the password. Okay, here we go. We'll take an RDP session to the NVA virtual machine. I'll just quickly check the NVA's private IP. Demo VM NVA. And on this virtual machine, once we log into the operating system or the server, we go to the registry, start run, and you can type regedit. Okay, browse to the path for local local machines, systems, current control set, con services, TCP IP, go to parameters. Okay, so this is the registry path that you need to, yep, this is the path. The current value is 0. We enable by making the value as 1. Click OK. To take into effect, all you need is you need to reboot this box. Okay, I'll reboot it from the portal. Restart, yes. While the NVA VMs gets rebooted, restarted, we'll take an RDP session to the private VM as well. Demo VM private. Hold on, let me check if I have enabled RDP on that machine. Yep, we have it. On the virtual machines. Yep, yep. Okay, from the public virtual machine, I run a traceroute command, open a command prompt, tracer to the private VM. that is 10.0.1.4. Okay, so look, so we took an RDP session, and for that we are checking the tracer. So the traffic first went to via 10.0.2.4. So since on the we are on the public VM, and it went to the NVA appliance, that is 2.4, and from then we were able to reach to 1.4. And similarly, I will run the tracer command from the other machine. From the private virtual machine, open a command prompt. So from the private machine, if I do a tracer for the public VM, see what is the route that it takes, that which is 10.0.1.4. Sorry, public is 0.4. So in this case, it directly reaches. It does not go via any different paths. As on the public subnet, we have enabled IP forwarding. So that is the whole reason. If you see the difference, so this is my public machine. From public machine, if I am doing a tracer to the private machine on the private subnet for private network, it goes via the NVA, because on the public subnet we have enabled IP forwarding. And while from the private subnet, from the subnet, it directly reaches to the public subnet. So this is because we have enabled IP forwarding, and we have enabled user defined routes. So the system, even though the system routes are there, it take the UDR routes take the preference on it. You can check the routes on the interface of that VM as well. I go to the public VM networking on the interface tab. Under the network interface, go to the effective routes, and here you can see the route table entries as well. So these are the default routes, the system routes, and the user defined routes that we have added is also can be seen here. Okay. Okay. Thank you, team. So thank you for watching this video. I hope the video has been helpful. Thank you.